on your way there and you're about to lose power, we appreciate you calling in and giving us an update on those precious animals that we all love so much at the Palm Beach Zoo. Stay safe, Nucky.
And it's always nice to see that video of them kind of being shuffled to safety. We want to thank you for staying with us in our continuing coverage of Hurricane Irma. Felicia Rodriguez alongside Tiffany Kenny. It is 10:30 and we'd like to get an update on where Irma is right now. We're going to send things over to severe weather expert Mike Lyons in the First Alert Weather Center. Mike.
Irma continues to make steady progress moving to the north, but unfortunately a lot of dry air is coming in behind Irma. You can kind of see it on our radar imagery. Look how dry it is. That air is sinking air, and as it sinks, it picks up speed. So even though we don't have rain squalls right now in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, we do have very high winds, at times peaking at 75 miles per hour. So it's so vitally important that you not be outside tonight in Palm Beach County or the Treasure Coast because of the sinking air, a unique phenomenon as the dry air comes in behind the storm. It means no rain squalls, no tornado warnings at the present time, but there is still a great danger from the gusty winds. Meanwhile, near western Okeechobee County, in fact, let me take you on a little Doppler tour. Again, here's that dry air across Palm Beach County, hardly any rain, but just checking the obs across South Florida at the airport just a moment ago, a wind gust to 65 miles per hour. So the winds remain a big issue in parts of Palm Beach County. Up the road along the Treasure Coast, getting some fresh rain bands here. You can see approaching Vero Beach and Fort Pierce, and the winds continue to be rather strong there as well. And here in Okeechobee County, big concern. There's the center of our storm, now approaching Sebring and beginning to pick up, by the way, in forward speed. It was moving at 14. I'm guessing that when we get that 11 o'clock advisory, which will be soon, the winds may be a little bit higher. Meanwhile, the gusty winds continue in Okeechobee. Passenger up toward Fort Drum. You are seeing those gusty winds up to 75 miles per hour as well. Again, we're watching Irma move to the north-northwest, picking up in forward speed. Hopefully, when we get the 11 o'clock advisory, it's a little weaker as well. Back with that in a couple minutes as we continue to track Hurricane Irma.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. We are joined now by Riviera Beach Mayor Thomas Masters, who's here to talk with us more about which is really some disturbing video we saw from Stony Brook, where several of your residents had to be evacuated. Talk a little bit about what happened at the apartment complex.
2 structural damages, roof, very considerable damage. Part of roofs were blown off. As a result, one building actually caught fire in one apartment. Water started coming in. Tenants called me first. We responded. We had just announced that we were going to put all fire police off the streets because the winds were like 50 miles per hour or plus. 15 minutes later, we had to reverse it. We went out there in emergency and braved the weather and went and got those residents.
And now those folks that had to leave their homes, they were taken to Palm Beach Gardens High School, one of the shelters.
Yes.
But you were saying they left in such a hurry, they were not able to grab the things that they needed.
Right. We just said, come now, because the winds were bad. Actually, we transported them in an armored vehicle, which was powerful enough to stand the winds. I'm just getting in from the shelter. I went and personally took them sheets and blankets and everything they needed. Now I can go home.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Well, that had to be, Mayor, so terrifying for them to be in the middle of the storm and have this happen.
Yeah, and there were 2 ladies who had 2 small babies, one baby like a month old, and I actually carried the baby into the truck because we didn't want the mother and the baby to fall. But the good news is they're out, and many residents decided they wanted to get out too, just in case if there were roof problems, rain coming in, flooding problems, electrical problems, or another fire.
Of course.
So everybody who volunteered, we went door to door and said, do you want to come? And about 15 people said absolutely.
Yeah, you can't blame them, not in these conditions. It was very rough out there. And even during that rescue, like you said, you braved the elements, all the firefighters and police officers that braved the elements in order to save these families.
Yes.
What else are you hearing about damage around Riviera Beach? Are you able, I know it's dark outside, so it's hard to assess tonight. You'll know more tomorrow, but what do you know so far?
Well, I can tell you that there are limbs everywhere. Around City Hall, a lot of trees are down. 81% of our residents don't have power. Trees and limbs are just everywhere. People need to be very careful. The curfew is still in effect, I can tell you that.
And it's even though you came up here you do not suggest that people, I mean, we're telling everybody, and law enforcement, of course, telling everyone stay inside until
Absolutely.
tomorrow morning because the roads just aren't safe.
And we're concerned about fallen power lines
Right.
as well. I mean, even coming to the shelter, I was very concerned, but
Sure.
the Lord blessed me to get here, and I'm very thankful.
Well, we're grateful for you. We're
Thank
grateful
you.
for your leadership for the city of Riviera Beach and,
Thank you.
and getting those residents to where they need to be and making sure that they're comfortable tonight.
They
So
are,
thank you.
and they're safe.
Mayor Masters, thank you so much for
Felicia,
joining
it's
us.
always good to see you.
You too, Mayor. We want to go now to some video out of the Tampa Bay area.
I think
Oh.
we're going to go to Mike, actually.
All
Mike,
right.
I think, has an update on, is it Western Okeechobee and what's happening out there, Mike?
That's part of it. Also, all of the Treasure Coast as well. And I just want to reemphasize and underscore the situation we're in tonight so that we are not caught off guard. Yes, the heavy rain bands that have been sweeping through the Palm Beaches and especially the Treasure Coast today are now offshore, but the dry air coming in behind this, and this is really kind of a unusual weather situation, this dry air that is sweeping in behind the hurricane, and there's the center of Irma. It is sinking air, and as it sinks, it just picks up speed, and as a result, the winds continue to increase across Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. The storm itself is beginning to move a little bit faster, currently at 14 miles per hour and beginning to move away. And we're also starting to see some of the rain return, especially along the Treasure Coast. More about that in a second, but you can see the heaviest rain squalls are now offshore. Here in Palm Beach County, it's mostly a wind event at the present time, and the current winds are running 45 to 55 miles per hour sustained, with wind gusts approaching 65 and in some parts of Palm Beach County approaching 75 miles per hour. So that's why it's so important that you not go outside. The same is happening here along the Treasure Coast, but now we're getting some rain bands, and that's beginning to show up in western St. Lucie County, western Indian River County, and for those of you listening on the radio, those showers, those heavy rain bands just west of I-95 at the present time in St. Lucie County and in Indian River County. Again, the winds, a concern here. Earlier tonight at the St. Lucie Nuclear Power Plant, a wind gust to 99 miles per hour, and we've seen wind gusts in Vero Beach and Fort Pierce up to 75. Meanwhile, the center of the storm, you can